ACCA or ACCA. And the opportunities for you would be, you could have your own practice, or you could get a job in MNCs where there is a huge demand, or the big international CA firms which are like Deloitte, EY, where they have a huge demand. So that is when I talk of CA. Now, another most common thing, say CS, company secretary. Now, when you talk of company secretary, what is the difference between CA and a CS? Like CA, obviously, it's chartered accountant who specializes in accounts, income tax. But when you talk of CAs, he or she, a CS is someone who deals with corporate law. So for them, the option is, either getting a job in corporate or practicing. Now, coming to the management accounting, cost and management accountant, CMA. Okay, now CMA, earlier it was called ICW, the degree was ICWI, which was Institute of Cost and Works Accountant. Now the degree is Cost and Management Accountant. In US, it is CMA. And UK, it is CIMA. So all these are global qualifications. After doing CA, CMA, or CS in India, you could opt for any of these global qualifications, which will give you better job opportunities, better prospects. Okay, because here the job options would not be limited only to the smaller companies, or it would be like the options would be MNCs, huge accounting firms, law firms, and all that. So now, another field which is gaining popularity is forensic accounting. When I say forensic accounting, what do you think of? Anyone? You could just type in chat. Have you heard of this forensic accounting? Okay, so forensic accounting is the branch of accounting where where we do investigation, trying to prevent fraud or finding frauds. So this is an additional certification course which one could pursue when he or she could be, work as a forensic accountant. So here that is forensic accounting. Okay. Now coming further, CA we have discussed. I'll just quickly, forensic accounting. So where can you be placed? Private companies, insurance companies, government organizations, public accounting firms, law firms. Why the need for forensic accountant? Those are the people who what do? They investigate cases of fraud, money laundering, and this has become this career, this is very much in demand. The reason we don't have forensic auditors. Okay, so first thing is forensic accounting is not is a profession on its own. It is an added thing where if you have knowledge as a seer, you could do a course in forensic accounting, and then you could choose that line, forensic accounting. Okay, so obviously you have to get a degree or a certificate in forensic accounting. Now CS we have discussed. I'm not discussing all these common options because you would be, obviously everyone is aware of. Now when I say a financial analyst, who is a financial analyst? Obviously who does analysis and takes the decisions and investment policies of big companies, or you could say individual. For individual you don't need an analyst, okay, right? So for the large corporations, insurance companies, financial institutions, banks everywhere, there is a great demand for these financial analysts. Now, how to be a financial analyst in India? Either there are two ways. You could do CFA, again, which is a global qualification, or you could be an MBA in finance. So when MBA in finance, when you do MBA in finance, there's just not just one opportunity. There are many options available. You could be placed, placed in a bank. You could be placed in insurance, financial services industry. So there are so many options. So this is one of it. So when a financial analyst what are the opportunities? Portfolio manager. When you talk of portfolio management, what does he or she do? They manage the whole portfolio. Like if you have mutual funds, where there are portfolio managers who take care of all the schemes, which scripts to buy, which scripts to exit. If it's a debt fund, then which securities to buy. So they all do based on what decision, like they do the analysis and then they take the decision. So here, when you are working as a when you have a qualification as a financial analyst, all these are the options available to you, like working as a corporate financial analyst, working as a risk manager, research analyst, portfolio manager, etc. Option either CFA or MBA finance. This is how you can pursue the course and work as a financial analyst. When CFAs, it's a professional course, chartered financial analyst, which is globally recognized and offered by the CFA Institute, USA. Okay, now the most popular option, banking. Now we all know that banking, like, this is nothing new. Okay, banking, everyone is aware of how do banks work, what are the opportunities. Earlier, there were only PSUs. Okay, now we have private banks, but it's banks are now providing their services. They are not only limited to only banking services. They have their own wealth management department, investment department, where they sell insurance, where they sell mutual funds, all the financial services apart from the regular banking like loans and all. Obviously, we all know that that's always there. But what are the add-ons? What other services do banks offer? So these are the areas where you could think of as a career option, getting placed in maybe retail banking, corporate banking, as a relationship manager, investment manager, investment planner. So all the options, these are the options apart from the regular banking career options. So when you say private sector, public sector banks, yes, microfinance professions. This is again a very new field. When you say microfinance, what is microfinancing? Microfinancing is, nothing but providing finance to those categories where banking is not possible. The regular banking channel has not penetrated. So there, the option, you could yourself be self-employed, provide, or you could get a job. You could be placed with a microfinance company. Corporate banking, I don't need to explain. Financial managers, retail banking, obviously loan officers. So here, when merchant bankers, what are merchant bankers? Companies coming out with huge public issues, they have to keep merchant bankers. So the opportunity for you as an individual, where you would be placed with a merchant banker. So of course, we know the professional qualification. See, CAs, MBAs, they all get jobs in banks apart from the regular SBI, RBI, back PO exams. Those are the where you want to work in core banks, as in the banking field. But other than that, if you do not appear for banking exams, that doesn't mean you don't have the opportunity to work with banks. This is always possible. Okay, so skills required, obviously, this is something customer service, the most important thing, because in banks, customers have to be at the top. So yes. Now, coming to the next, stockbroking. Again, very common profession, stockbroker. But see, earlier, stockbroker, one who places an order on behalf of the client. That's it. Okay. A stockbroker could be anyone placed with a firm, a broking firm, or you could yourself buy a card. But now, it's not only placing the order, buy and sell. You have to do research, you have to understand the market, say, or equities, derivatives, bonds, all that. So derivatives, when you say derivatives, futures, options, call option, put option. So you need to understand it's not as simple as just placing the order, buy and sell. So there are certification courses in stockbroking. NSC has come out with so many NCFM modules. There are so many. So basic knowledge, the technical knowledge is also necessary. How to operate the system, how to operate the terminal, that is all very important. So this is one area which you could think of as an option. So career opportunities, brokerage firm, independent broker, analyst, and bank broker. Why bank? Because banks also do the same thing as a normal broker. So bank has entered into all kinds of services in the financial service industry, be it mutual funds, broking, demat. So that will take care of insurance. So you have, as a finance professional, you will have opportunities for all these avenues. Okay, so now how to move further? So obviously, graduation in any stream not required. You have to pursue commerce. Commerce is recommended, but you have the options where you could do an MBA or short-term certificate courses from NSC. As I said, NSC has launched so many courses. Okay, NCFM modules. So we have these are the few names of the institutes who conduct the exams and provide certifications, like NCFM Academy, Institute of Financial and Investment Planning. So this is one area which you could think of. Coming to the next. Yeah. So financial planning. Now, when I talk of financial planning, what is financial planning? Okay. Now here I am talking about a person who becomes a financial planner for an individual. When we discussed about CFA, CFA is more for the corporate, more like for portfolio management, more for technical analysis and all. When I say financial planning, a financial planner is a person who takes care of the individual's needs. All right, individual needs, financial needs, investment needs. So it's when you talk of an individual, it's not only investment, insurance and risk management, investment, taxation, retirement planning, and estate planning. So individuals' needs, when you talk of financial needs, are all distributed in certain categories. Investment will take care of stocks, mutual funds, and all that. Retirement planning what to do. When you are earning right now, when you're young, you have to plan for your future, for your retirement period. So insurance and risk management, so that takes care of life as well as general insurance. Tax planning. So here, financial planning, a financial planner, there are different names given: financial advisor, financial consultant, who will give investment recommendations to individual. Now, even as an individual, you will need a planner. As a company, you will also need a financial planner. So basically, achieving goals through investments, in different financial avenues, options, whatever. So these are the people who will help you with this. Now, if you see next, how to become a financial planner. CFP, Certified Financial Planner. There's a course available by the Financial Planning Standards Board, which is available. But CFP, you can do after graduation, you can do after your CA. Like I have done CA as well as I have pursued this certified financial planning course. So it's not compulsory that you need to be a CA, CFA to pursue this course. Graduation is fine. You know, anyone after 12th pass, they can enroll for this. But CFP is always an added qualification and it is a globally recognized qualification. So now what skills would you? Of course, the same like CFA, like portfolio management, investment management, equity. Yeah, but when you talk of difference between CFA and CFP, CFP focuses on the individual. CFA is more towards the corporate, as well as it takes care of all the technical analysis, portfolio. So it's much more difficult to pursue and it's much more in detail. Okay, now opportunities for a planner, certified financial planner, or simply I would say financial planner. So either he or she could be with a financial planning services, or he or she could work independently as a consultant, or maybe with some bank, or there are many options available as a personal financial advisor, or sales agent, fund manager. So all these are the options available for a financial planner. Now the next which I want to talk about is a real difficult course, but it is actually a very respected profession, which is actuarial science. So who is an actuary? So when you say actuaries are at the top of the in the insurance sector, where they take care or they apply their mathematical and statistical knowledge and fix the premiums, the morbidity rate, and all that. So actuaries are actually at the top in an insurance sector. But to do the course in actuarial science, it requires a lot of efforts, lot of hard work for anyone who wants to do this course. Insurance sector, banking, health and medical sector. Why health and medical sector? See, the demand for actuaries in India in the health and medical sector is still at a very initial stage. In the developed countries like US and all, the need for actuaries, in the hospitals and to actually determine the rate of death, and then they decide policies. But here in India, it is still at a very initial stage. But yes, there are opportunities. And how do you become an actuary? There is a common entrance test for which is called ACET, Actuarial Common Entrance Test. If you do not want to, do by this route, then there are courses which offer MSc or MBA in actuarial science. These are offered by certain institutes. But of course, the number would be much lesser as compared to MBA finance, which is a very popular choice for those who want to make a career in finance. Okay, now coming to the next, this we briefly discussed cost management accountant. Like CA, we have CMS, cost and management accountants, who have the responsibility of taking care of the costs as well as on the side of management accounting, which is preparing the strategies, strategic financial plan, financial reports, and all that. So this, when I say the top 3 professional degrees in India for accounts finance, CA, CS, and CMA. So, and all these degrees in India which are offered, there are parallel global qualifications which are also offered. Like as I said, CA, CPA in US, ACCA UK, CFA, of course, it's total global qualification. Earlier, ICFA University used to offer CFA, but as of now, between an agreement between the CF Institute and ICFA, they cannot have dropped down the course. So we only have the global course, US CFA, then CMA, India, which is offered by ICWI, CMA, US, and CIMA, UK. So this is again, with the Indian degree, there are parallel global qualifications which are available and which becomes a very popular choice amongst the students who really want to, go for better prospects, in the sense they will have options where they could be placed with MNCs, they could work with the top accounting firms. So here, cost accounting. Yeah, I can share. I just got a query regarding the slides. I can share. This is much in detail, so I have tried to put as much as I can. This is very less data, but since I didn't want to make it very theoretical, so I just put in. So when I am speaking, I'm not actually reading from it. You can have a look where I have briefly explained about the career. If you want, you can have the slides. I will send it to someone. They will send it to you, those who all have registered. Sure, definitely. Okay. So what are the career opportunities in management accountancy? Government sector, education sector. Why here I mentioned education sector? I could have done that earlier. Here, many, it's a common thing for CA, CS, CMAs. Government sector, obviously government will need people who are CMAs, CAs, CS. Business organizations, banks, I have told you that, these are, even before we started discussing the careers, that banks, government, corporates, that is the companies, all will require CAs, CS. Okay, an individual will not require a CS. I might require a CA, right? But CS is mainly focused for companies. CMAs only for companies. Individual will not require CMA, but they have the broader perspective where even companies will require. Education sector, CAs, all schools and colleges will require. But when, as an individual, when you have pursued such courses, there is an opportunity where you could work as a professor. Like, you teach students who are pursuing CA, you teach students who are pursuing CS, CFE, CFA, or CMA. So education sector is an opportunity, and actually I would say an alternative career option where you don't need to be B.Ed or M.Ed. Okay, if you have the professional degree, you are eligible to teach. Maybe not as a full-time faculty, not in schools, because their schools teaching we need B.Ed. But yes, in colleges and all, we have opportunities, because as having a professional qualification will have all the avenues open for you. Other than that, cost consultant, estimator, because cost and management, they think about cost, in making a product, when you have to, a company wants to launch a new product. The first thing, cost. So it is always so analysis. So who all do that? They done by the CMAs. So these are the options available for a sort of a cost management account. Now, CMA India, I have just briefly explained. Cost and management accounting is obviously this is by India, Institute of Cost Accountants of India. US CMA, which is Certified Management Accountant. globally recognized by IEMA, that's the name of the institution, and CIMA. So Chartered Institute of Management Accounting is given by the UK-based professional body. So all these are parallel global qualifications when you compare with CMA India. Okay. So I'll just take a brief break in between. In case you have any questions, you could just type in chat. We will have a question answer round at the end. But in case, quick, if you want me to answer anything in particular regarding these careers only, because I have a few more. So otherwise, I'll proceed with that. Okay. So let me go to the next. Financial risk management. Okay, now when I talk of financial risk management, what is it about? What is it? As you know, as an individual, what are the risks I have? Everyone, the most common is life, and that is the risk of death, we all know. Apart from that, risk of falling sick. So for that, we have personal accident policies, Mediclaim, and all that. So what other? For as an individual, if you're traveling, you have the risk of, either loss of your baggage or some theft or whatever. So for that, we have overseas travel policy. If you are traveling abroad, I think everyone is usually takes an overseas travel policy, right? So now when we talk about finance, what is finance? Finance is, when we think, what is the term which comes in our mind? Money, right? When we say finance, is it raising funds? Is it giving funds? It could be anything. What are the risks associated? I'm not going into the technical part, explaining each risk, but here, when the major risk, market risk, credit risk, operational and liquidity, the most common, if liquidity risk, you don't have liquidity, right? That happens even as an individual, it happens to us. So what does a financial risk manager do? He takes care of these risks. Takes care means understanding, managing. When I say managing, it comes with a plan, strategy to manage such risks and reduce the impact. Certain risks are unavoidable. So reducing the impact, planning in certain ways so that it reduces the impact of such risk. So for here, the career is becoming when you say risk management is the line chosen by you as an individual. So how do you become a financial risk manager? The most common, there is an institute, again a global qualification, Global Association of Risk Professionals, which conducts the FRM exam. Okay, so here that is one. Otherwise, there are institutes, colleges, universities offering courses in risk management. When I say MBA risk management, very few institutes offer these courses, but it's there. It's in India. So for you, then even an MBA finance can become a risk manager. But if a person who is a financial risk manager, his knowledge might be much more because he has the certification. See, here what happens is when you are doing, opting for a career in accounts and finance, there are degree courses and there are certificate diploma courses. So, courses which upskill your knowledge, courses upskill your knowledge base, or courses which help you to get better opportunities. There are the future, the prospects are bright, so which make the prospects better. So both ways, like CA, as a CA, for you what are the limitations, but if you are a CA and a CPA, what are the additional options that has, additional avenues that have opened up for you. So this is how, when you say of financial risk management, if you have done a certification of, as a professional, course in risk management, you are at a better place versus someone who's done MBA finance. So MBA finance will also have, he will also understand the risks. But when you are talking about the opportunities, this will be an added thing to your CV or your profile. So financial risk management, we have discussed. Skills, obviously here, when I, all these careers, what mean the most common skills, numerical ability, modeling, financial modeling, analytical and research skills. Those are the, common skills which are there for many career options at the professional level. So corporate risk manager, credit risk specialist. So here there are the options are many. Risk manager, it could be anything. Operational risk, market risk specialist, it could be anything. So you could work any of these in any of these. Okay, now coming law, everyone knows, right? Who's a lawyer? Someone who fights a case in the court, right? That is what common language now. When I talk of financial lawyer, he is still a lawyer, but when I've used the term financial, so he's mainly focused, because when you are pursuing law, could be corporate law, it could be criminology, it could be, there are so many aspects. So here we are talking only about finance, we're talking only about commerce, accounts. So financial lawyers, who basically, they are the ones who take care of, you all know that, these days mergers, acquisitions, they're so popular, restructuring of the business, foreign law, so everything. So they will help, they will assist the companies for all these. So now to become a financial lawyer, obviously you need to be a LLB graduate, that is of course, and then the additional certification, whatever is available, like, as I have mentioned, one needs to clear the bar council exam and enroll in the association, because they just statewide. So wherever, before starting the practice, you need to get the professional license. So financial lawyer is a different profession from the regular CA, CFP, CFA, which we all know about. This is but a different career option which you could think of if you have to. Next, when it says fintech, what thing comes in your mind when someone says fintech? So finance and technologies, right? Finance and technology. So basically here we are integrating technology with financial services, because see, for technology we need someone who is from the IT field. But when you want to merge that, integrate that, we also need a finance professional. So here the opportunities for you working the fintech industry, could be risk management, analysis, product managers, innumerable opportunities for you. So here fintech is nothing but integration of technology with financial services, delivery of financial services. Now, startups, education, and these options, these emerging careers got a real boost during the COVID times. Like edtech, so many edtechs, there were, edtech startups were there. So education, what do you mean? Education and technology when you say edtech startup. So there were so many edtech institutes, there's so many fintech startups. So they all need, but the basic, here the thing is the role and the profile. When you say a name, that might differ, but basically what you will be doing when you're doing something that in the physical offline mode, like bank manager. But we also have digital bank managers. So now the word digital means who's taking care of all the things that are happening digitally. So the responsibilities, duties, the core duties are the same, but the mode of delivery could be different. The way you work, your work profile could be different. So here, this is not a separate qualification, or this is the opportunity which you have. If you are into finance or commerce accounts, you could think of as an alternative option. Right? So here, legal, taxation, all this, fintech, and so we have advisory services for taxation strategy. So all this, which has all completely gone digital, and there have been opportunities created, job opportunities created in this sector. Now taking a step further, commerce with IT. Now IT, same thing, finance with now commerce. So now how about, a financial software developer? A software developer, someone from the IT field, but when it comes to financial software developer, you also need to have the financial domain knowledge. With software development, obviously, but what about the financial domain knowledge? You need to have that, right? So here, either you could combining commerce with IT, such courses are available. BCA, MCA, so 12 till 12th you have studied. Even in BCA, MCA, there are certain commerce subjects which give you the basic knowledge, at least to understand the basics of it. So this is another option where you could, if you're not totally into auditing, you're not into tax, but still you want to pursue commerce, you don't want to take up science, but you're like into computers. So this is one of the options you could think of, being in the commerce field as well as the IT field. You're not doing physics, chemistry, maths or something like that because you don't want to do it. So this is another option where you could think of as an alternative option for you. Now, the next, when I say insurance underwriter, who is an insurance underwriter? On the basis of your policy application, he will assess the risk and then decide, whether to pass the policy, reject the policy, or maybe give loading or so. Insurance underwriters, they have certain duties. So that is the processing of accepting the liability. Okay, because they will assess your proposal form, where your application, and then decide what to do with it. Accept, reject, or accept it with loading. So they review the insurance applications. So here's someone who's after completing your graduation, how are underwriters appointed? So any finance, accounting, computer. So here, if you have a basic knowledge of that, you have the opportunity to work as a insurance underwriter with insurance companies in general life, commercial, and insurance. You could pick the area of your choice. Then comes venture capital analyst. Now, what is venture capital? When you say venture capital, when ventures, something new, a startup. So venture capital, they list are the people who fund the startups. Okay, the small companies and all this, they do the funding, but then they have to be sure, if they are putting their money, they have to be sure, whether they are putting it in the right place or not. So here, they as the responsibility of an analyst, when you say venture capital analyst, will be to network, be aware of the industry trends, and meeting companies and all that. So basically, the working for venture capitals, that they provide capital to startups. So when you are an analyst, you have to analyze and decide whether the firm which is putting money in a particular startup is it worth not. Cost benefit analysis would be done. So that would be done on the basis of your research, your analyst, when you're working as a venture capital analyst. So this is an option for you. So anyone can do, like even a CA can be a venture capital analyst, even someone who MBA finance. So here these are not the courses, or but if want to understand NCFM, that is NSC Academy has courses for such options also, even project financing, venture capital analysis. So they NCFM modules, you could just visit the NSC website, the NCFM where you could see all the modules which are available and which are offered. So project finance. Next, when I talk of project finance, what do you think? Project and finance. So when project finance, so basically when a company is going for a long-term project, they will have to think of alternative, maybe if the regular funding and all done, fine, using an off-balance sheet financing structure, or if you have heard of SPV, special purpose vehicle. So they have to select those vehicles, they have to pinpoint, they have to make a study of all the other avenues which are available. So again, what will be required? The quantitative and the analytical skills of yours. So project finance is not a qualification or degree, it's an option which is available, where you could focus, you could consider it as an alternative option in finance. Just like corporate finance, this is project financing. I have already discussed microfinance with you earlier, that microfinance is where financing is given to small businesses, people where banking, the regular banking channels have not penetrated. So here, what is your job opportunity? Either as an individual, you could provide finance, you could be placed with companies who deal with micro financing. So qualifications, whom will they hire at the upper level? Obviously MBAs, CAs and all that. Then since they also have to get marketing and all, so then comes people who've done MBA in marketing, sales and all. But here, opportunity in this area is a new thing which you might have heard of, you might have not heard of. But okay, now this is something which is quite new. Chartered Alternative Investment Analyst. Now, what is it? Okay, what is it? It's a professional qualification. It is offered by the association. This is a very new. I think it was founded in 2002 or 2003. It's a global qualification. But what is this designation or this qualification about? If you read the professional qualification, what the name suggests is in alternative investment analyst. So when you say alternative investment, normal investments, which are stocks, mutual funds, okay, but other than that, estate, so alternative investments like real estate, hedge funds, private equities. So here the focus is knowing, learning, analyzing more about the alternative investments. So if I have to compare CFA and CAIA, CFA is much more wider. It will also have a part of it, but this is only focused on alternative investment. So here, if you have this qualification, you will be an expert at alternative investment asset class. So what is the opportunity where you could be hired by employees who are dealing with private equities, pension funds and all those. So this is for this you have to clear the exam by the association, that is CAIA association. Again, it's a global qualification. Next, fraud examiner. Earlier we did forensic accounting. When I, so for this, now there is a fraud examiner. These are the certified fraud examiners. So, if you're a CA, you want to add to your certification, you are say CFA, whatever, you want to add to your certification. So these are the additional value added certification courses. Of course, they're not that easy, but yes, this is available where you have to examine, discover and prevent the fraud. So, money laundering. So you have to deal with all this. So how to earn this certification, how to get this certification? You have to register yourself with the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, which is again a global institution. So they do provide certifications. There are certain eligibility criteria. So this is an added option, an added avenue to your existing profession. So this is about fraud examiner. Then financial management, we have discussed, like financial management, basically managing finance. So MBA finance, it's the degree, but you could work as a financial manager. So what are the options? What are the roles where you could be placed with? So be it cash manager, credit manager, financial managers, foreign. So all these are the options which are there, like fraud examiners analysis. So for that, you need to pursue the course. Simply, no one is going to hire you as a fraud examiner unless you have the certification for that. Okay, then moving further, we have business data analyst. Now, what is business data analyst? Artificial, but here it's dealing with business. So it's a combination of, again, commerce and IT. Business analytics, as I said, data analysis and business intelligence. So basically here you are helping the company to make better decisions. Okay, so why do you need that? So the companies using the business data analytics will be able to enter the market during a product launch in a better way, reducing cost, or when it wants to introduce yourself in a new region. So somewhere it could be, or anywhere where a company would need and understand the business data analytics. So here, how to become a business data analyst? Obviously, see, if you have taken up commerce, maths is always preferred. So commerce with maths, this is very important, because when you talk of analysis, data, mathematical knowledge is always required. So MBA, so as I said, MBA, the most common ones are sales, marketing, finance, HR. But there are certain universities, institutes which offer, in risk management, data analytics, which we discussed. So these are you have to search for such institutes if you want to go for such different of, not the common qualification. Then you can do something in that if this is one of your choices. So career opportunities, obviously, budget analysis, business analysis, data. So all these will be, more or less similar, but here the focus is on the analysis part. Okay. Apart from these, the other economist I'm not discussing, because we all know that, economics, if you are into economics, you're most the focus will be BA with economics, MA with economics. Not, that is again different. Digital banking, as I discussed, so this is the new role which has opened up because of digital banking. Project manager, a manager for a particular project from start to end, he is taking care of the whole project. international business, if you are into foreign trade, something like that, if you're interested, export, import. So there are courses where you could do MBA in international business, or even certification courses, where all these options are available. Insurance sector, the opportunities are wide. So, actually, as I said, of course, underwriters, but then you have so many other job roles, job profiles, like, investment advisor, relationship manager, agent, sales agent. So there's so many. All these are the opportunities available, like banking, you could say retail banking, corporate banking, then investment banking, wealth manager, relationship, so even loan officer. So the opportunities, but then, if picking up a career, you have to choose. Picking up your what you want to do, you have to choose how to do. There are certain options which are available. Either you do MBA, you go for professional qualifications. So that is, you have to choose a pathway to reach your goal. So all these options are available. And apart from that, I wanted to tell you that, as I said, degree courses and the professional courses, certification, skilling, they will always add value to your profile. They will help you, to move a step further. Like maybe you have worked for 5-10 years in the same, without any, say, better growth or promotion, whatever. If you're working, this is just an example, if you upskill yourself, no, okay, then what have you done? You have opened doors to more opportunities, to more avenues. Thank you very much. I hope you got the information what you were looking for, and this session was informative to all of you. Before I conclude, I want to move to, just discussing brief about career guides, assessment and all. But before that, I think I would like to answer the queries, and then I'll move further. Any queries?
Thank you, Ruja, for such an informative session. And I would request the participants, anybody who wants to ask any query or any doubt, please feel free to unmute yourselves, or you can also write it in chat. And Ruja can answer it. I think Shantanu,
Ma'am, it's a tons of information, but to compile it, I mean, I need it desperate. It was a super session. So many, thank you very much. But to remember or something, it won't be. So I need to watch it again. Please help me.
Definitely. The session is recorded on YouTube. So we'll send you the link post the session is over. And it's on CareerGuide.com's YouTube channel. You can find it there.
And I'll also share the PPT. See, actually, I haven't spoken, much from the PPT, since it was a lot of data. This was only for you. So in case you need some information, you could see, and then, you always have Google to search for. So,
yeah, ma'am, one question I do have. The kids are, with CMA America, CMA India, they are asking these questions. So if you could shed some light on it, that how to go about it, because they start, then they get confused, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah. First thing, CMA US, CMA India, and CMA UK. CMA US can be done in much lesser time compared to India and UK. Even UK, there are so many exams, but depending on your qualifications, graduation, post-graduation, if you are a CA and then you want to pursue, there are certain exemptions available. So for that, I would suggest, if you have a student who's particularly interested in CMA, CMA, understanding the difference, you make a columnar comparison chart where you explain that, this can be done in less than 1 year. This will take at least 3 years. Even with CA, India CA will take much more time versus
Exactly,
doing
ma'am.
a
That's why
CPA.
students want not to pursue CA, but for a CMA US, so that because
Exactly.
they,
Yes.
yeah. So how to more guide them more specifically? If you could put some valuable info on it.
Then you could visit the website of USCMA. Just type in Google, you will get the website. You'll get an idea that the duration of the course is this much. So at least the brief idea. Then ask the student to do, because what happens? Certain times students just come with if they have heard from their friends, oh, I want to do. Ask them to do the research. Give them the website's name. Explain them in brief that this is a 1 year course. These has certain, what are the levels here in India, what is the difference, UK, what is the difference, and then you do the research and tell whether, because in India, if you want to pursue, it is going to take minimum number. Then see, first thing, always whenever you are counseling or helping a child or a student with the Indian professional, the commerce profession, which I said, the three topmost, CA, CS, and CMA. Just tell them, that is the first thing you need to tell them, that entry is easy, but getting out is always uncertain. Like, see, when you are pursuing engineering, when you are pursuing MBA or even MBBS, once you get the admission in the college, you know that after 3 years, after 4 years, 2 years, whatever your duration of the course is, you are going to get that degree. You have worked hard for your entrance test and all that. Now you have got admission in an institute, you are going to get the degree. But here, if you choose for these professions, when you say CA, CMA, CS, getting in is very easy because there is no entrance test, but getting out is always a question mark. So if you see the statistics, there are so many dropouts, they leave halfway.
Ma'am,
So
it's true for CMA also, because people are going for CMA. Some perception has come in that it's an easy and quick.
comparatively, it is easier if you
And
compare it with CA.
to earn quick buck, they are seeing that on Google, that after completion of CMA, you get a package of 30-40 lakhs and this. So, they are more tending to CMA US. So, if you could just tell on that.
So yes, US, that is what I said. US CMA is comparatively much shorter than the India CMA.
But what is the, if you could, the difficulty level?
Difficulty, it's not that difficult. Comparison, if you compare it with India, it is, it's much more easier.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So much.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyone else? Otherwise, I just wanted to, brief about the assessments and all. So, any other queries?
Ma'am, one more thing I wanted to ask you, that a few very mouth-watering career, you said, that forensic and financial analyst and all. So all that has to come. If you could, categorize on steps. The basic requirements that is required. There. As I told you, you have given. Tons of information. It's too hot to handle so much of information.
I know, because in such short time for me also, at least I wanted to cover as much as possible, so that at least you get an idea that this is available. Because most of the times this happens that we don't know that such a thing exists. Like forensic accounting is very new, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
just a BCom graduate, if he goes for forensic accounting, it is not going to help him. He at least needs to understand. So if a CA is going further for forensic accounting, then then it will be a different avenue for a CA who can have more opportunities rather than just being a CA. That is the difference. Like when you say financial analyst, that is why I didn't use the word CFA, because CFA itself is a profession. It's a global designation. When you say chartered financial analyst, awarded by US CFA. So when I say financial analyst, even an MBA finance can be an analyst. It's just a designation. So there are two ways. Either you pursue MBA finance, you can still work as an analyst, but doing CFA will give you much more knowledge, much more, the qualification is a globally recognized. So simply, see, I'm not talking, when you say MBA finance, I'm not talking about IIMs and all, because IIMs, SPJ, if you talk of the top institutes, as it is, once they pass out, they're going to get an excellent package, right? But when you,
exactly.
yeah, so when you talk of the normal mediocre universities, institutes, colleges, if you're an MBA finance, plus you have done CFA, obviously, versus when a company has to hire, versus there is someone only who is an MBA finance, versus MBA finance plus CFA. Definitely, who's going to be at a better place?
Right, got it now. And for this, the various other things that you said, portfolio manager and all, I mean, for that so also.
That can be done. If you portfolio managers, most of them are CFA.
Because mutual fund industry is growing exponentially, and it's a very I mean, it can be a very lucrative career for the average student also, ma'am. If so, exactly. I just needed the, I mean, steps A, B, C. If you could, I mean, detail it out, sir.
So what I can do is, I think I'll make some changes to my PPT, and maybe by tomorrow I'll ask Purva to share it with you. So where, when you say of portfolio management, CFA can be a portfolio manager, even an MBA finance. But then, in mutual funds, if you read their qualifications, the qualifications of the portfolio managers, they are CAs, CFAs, MBAs, all. They have a huge experience. So somewhere you have to start and reach here. So initially, for a fresher, being a portfolio manager with a mutual fund will be obviously difficult.
Like I give you an example, ma'am. See, I mean, suppose a BCom graduate, okay, after doing that, because if he or she has this portfolio, because you see, the stockbroking units are also pan-India. Now, there are individuals who want their stocks to be also, for that also, it's a portfolio manager is required.
Exactly, exactly.
So I mean, career options can be done with that also. That is why I said, I mean, if you could, I mean, specify the ABC for these BCom graduates, or after commerce, they should take what? I mean, 12th commerce student. So these can be, means very vital inputs that can be shared with the students, ma'am.
Sure.
So it would be great help.
Possible. I'll try to, make some changes to my PPT, because here, the career options I have, like, given the stock, that is what I said, stockbroking, where earlier when you used to, think of a broker, it was only buying and selling, that is, doing a trade on the terminal. Now it's not like that. There are investment advisors, financial advisors, whatever name you call, relationship managers. So even the big broking firms also have these requirements. So there is an opportunity where even graduates have the option of working with a stockbroker as a relationship manager, investment manager, be it whatever.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for patiently hearing me out.
Thank you. Career options for CA, commonly, that is what, taxation or audit. Another options, these are the most common options. When I said, now, even systems audit, so CA Institute has only, come up with a course in systems audit. So this is an addition after being a CA. Since everything is now digital, it's all computerized. Then cloud accounting, all the physical records and have been done away with. So where the company is not in the same location, branches and offices, we have cloud account. Everything is stored. So their accounting. Then obviously working with a corporate sector or banking where they require CAs. Consultancy is different. Preparation of returns. Your CA practice is also different. So option where you be a tax consultant to a company versus your traditional, or you get placed with a company, be it a corporate, be it banks, all the options are open for a CA. So I will share the PPTs where I have mentioned what are the options for a CA rather than only tax and the regular audit practice. Earlier, earlier it was like that, CA. So whatever the first thing, practice or a job, but job where? Now, corporate finance, project finance, so everywhere. So all these are the options available for a CA as well for a MBA. MBA finance, the option of taxation and audit won't be there. But when you talk of corporate financing, even a CA or even an MBA can have the option open. Okay. So I think no more queries. Then,
ma'am, I have one query.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, you talked about forensic accountant and fraud examiners. So what is the difference between the two?
Fraud examiner, see, this is a proper course where the whole idea is to detect, prevent frauds. Okay, right. Forensic accounting is in more on the investigating, similar, but when I talk of fraud examiner, this is a course or designation given. Forensic accounting is a branch of accounting which is very recent.
So, ma'am, that is also a different certification, no? Forensic accounting.
Yes. Different certification.
But work is more or less similar.
Similar, but I wouldn't say same, but similar. Yes.
Not much difference. Still confused. I'm still confused.
So is let me see. I'll tell you. Let me share the screen. You'll get an idea. What is the difference? Just a second.
Ma'am, is it something like, ED would do a forensic scrutiny and the banks would keep it a fraud?
More of investigation. When detecting forensic accountants investigate cases of fraud. It is, here basically when you talk of fraud examiners, they are at the top level. They are actually, they have to overlook, they have to prevent, they have to report the fraud. You are examining. Here you are basically a forensic accountant. When you are hired by the company, it is the responsibility of the accountant, the forensic accountant, to, if there is a courtroom case going on, to present the information, communicate the information clearly. So here, basically, you are more an accountant, whether when I said fraud examiner, you are the head about it, where you are actually examining the frauds.
Right, ma'am.
Okay. So, anyone else? Okay, so let me just brief you. I hope you all know about CareerGuide, the online platform which we use for psychometric assessments and all. The main thing I wanted to show you, when we discuss a report, stream selector, where the child is in 9th or 10th, the best streams, and obviously the most common is the ideal career test report, where the top 3 careers are mentioned. Now, based on what? So taking care of the parameters, aptitude, interest, motivators, all. So I hope you are all aware of that. And one more which I wanted to discuss was the 21st century skills and learning test, which let me share both the sample reports, and then I could, discuss that. Yeah. So one is the ideal career test, where you have the top 3 careers which are given. Then based on what? So here motivators, what are the top motivators for you? The top 3 are given, all of them are given. Yeah, I will share the PPT definitely. Let me make some changes and definitely I will share it with you. Aptitude, so your skills and abilities which are measured, and the interests are also taken care of. So on the basis of that, the top 3 careers are displayed for any individual who's appearing for the test, psychometric test. Now, stream selector test, if he or she in 9th or 10th is not sure of which stream to go for. The top streams. So this is the test where the top streams is displayed, which is the best choice for the child, taking care of the aptitude and the interest both. So here, why aptitude and interest? Because it might happen that you have the aptitude but you are not interested. Then there is no point in doing something which you are not interested at all, because this, when you choose a career, it is going to stay with you for the life. So how can you expect someone to do something in which he or she is not interested at all? So this is the stream selector test. And another one which actually is a new one which I wanted to focus on, the 21st century skills and learning test, which takes care of your cognitive, digital, interpersonal and intrapersonal skills, where cognitive will be curiosity, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, intrapersonal, persistence, initiative, resilience, empathy, interpersonal and digital. So here, basically the whole idea is, why this test? Because with our careers, certain skills are necessary also. As an example, if you are a CA, but I'll just take a simple example. Your communication skills are much poor. See, one thing, CA and an MBA, main difference, MBAs are very good at presentation. CAs are not. They only, they are not good. I don't say all, but this is the general. We have, as a CA, I have never learned, presenting myself, because what we do is to just, our focus was to clear the exam. But MBAs, they have projects, they have assignments, presentation. So when it comes to presenting, communication, they are obviously better than CAs. So here, all these skills are measured, and why the measurement of these skills? So if you find that somewhere you are lacking in some skill, you could do an upskill course and improve those particular skills. So digital skills, why digital skills necessary today? Most important, everything is digital: media literacy, information communication, internet. So if you're not, you don't know, being an MBA finance or CA, you don't know how to operate with computers, filling form, everything is online. So how can you function? Not possible. So here, all these skills are equally important along with your qualification. So interpersonal, collaboration, teamwork, leadership, adaptability. So all these, why this report is important is it takes care and helps you assess your own skills. So this is what I wanted to discuss, because Career Guide as a platform has a lot to offer for the counselors, for the parents, students. Of course, we all know that it was founded by Ms. Surbi Devra. So she has done a great thing by starting Career Guide, which is a great help to every one of us. So psychometric assessment, we all know, but this is something, the new 21st century skills, which they have. Of course, I wouldn't say recently introduced, but it is, yeah, something much, new as compared to the existing psychometric tests. Yeah. Any queries? I think so PPT I will definitely share. Purva, would you want to send any link or anything? Nidhi, may I know about what? Little brief. What was I discussing when you got disconnected, so I can repeat the same? You could type in chat or unmute yourself.
I'm giving the link for psychometric assessment test in the chat. So anybody who's interested can further read about it and can get in touch with us. Yeah, contact numbers are here. I've shared the link, Jyoti. You can click on it. You'll find all the details there, and you can contact us anytime.
So Nidhi, could you please type in chat what if I have to repeat myself regarding what? Regarding any particular career or the psychometric tests when you got disconnected? What was I discussing? So I can repeat myself. Oh, yes, Nidhi. Regarding the psychometric test, when I mentioned that Career Guide has a lot of psychometric tests available. The most common ones are the stream selector test. If the student is in 9th or 10th, not sure about which stream to opt for, you could go for that. And the most common is the ideal career test, which takes care of different parameters. Let me share the screen, and so you can get, this is the stream selector where aptitude and interest are taken into consideration. So aptitude and interest are high. Obviously, if you see, the interest is much lower. Though for science math, aptitude is as same as that of commerce, but interest level is much low. So that is why both are equally important when when the stream, the report is displayed. Why this aptitude and interest? Why interest is equally important? Because you can't expect someone to do something when he or she is not interested in that. Okay, because this is the career for life. So how can you expect someone to do something when you're not interested? So this is the stream selector. Then I showed the sample report of the ideal career test, which is the main career test where it lists 3 top careers for you, taking into account, obviously based on your answers, but what parameters? So motivators. The top 3 motivators, let me zoom this. So if you see what are the motivators, variety, leadership, respect, so all these are there. So if you see, interest is the topmost motivator for this person. Okay, this is just a sample report, so I'm just showing it to you. Then comes the aptitude, the skills and abilities which are measured. So here the points and explanation is given versus the graphical representation is there. Then comes the interest. What are the interests for this person? So like conventional, artistic, realistic, investigative. So if you see here, the top three interests: enterprising, artistic, and social. So, you know, interest and value. So explanation is definitely given so you can understand. And then the personality. Personality in the sense, you know, what is your personality? So here it will take care of all. This is a brief summary. So this is the ideal career test sample report, which takes care of these parameters: motivators, aptitude, interest, everything. And then top three careers are suggested. And the another report which I discussed is the new report, which is 21st century skills report. Let me, here, which assesses your cognitive, digital, interpersonal, and intrapersonal skills. So here, why these skills are equally important? The reason you are great at profession, at the work you do, but certain skills you are lacking. So say communication, you cannot communicate properly. So how are you working in a company? There are people who are working with you. How are you going to be clear with what you want to express and all that? So this is just an example. Say digital, you're not a computer literate. So how? Because now everything is online, everything is digital. So here this report will measure and assess your skills. So where you lack a certain skill, you can do something regarding upskilling yourself. This is what I had discussed. Apart from that, many other career psychometric tests are available on CareerGuide's website. Like for life skills, obviously 21st century skills, right from school students to professional. But here, even engineering brand selector, commerce career selector, humanity. So all these are available. Professional skill index, where they measure the professional skills. So these are the psychometric tests available on CareerGuide. So most common are ideal career test and stream selector test. Okay. So I hope any further queries? Okay. Thanks, Nidhi. You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciated, Ruja, for such an informative session, and everybody really took away a lot today. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to rewatch it, we have it on YouTube, and also we'll send you an email with all the PDFs and links and everything. So thank you so much for joining. Bye.
Bye.